Welcome to another Daily Dose of Lamb Dog News Edition. Now, I haven't heard any feedback about what you, as an audience, think of these news editions. To be honest, I wouldn't even be reading the news if it wasn't for what we're talking about here. Uh, so all I can really go by is the views, and I've gotten some decent views on a couple of past videos. I was kind of one of the first to do the Charlie Hebdo shooting. I beat everybody out of the gate on account of waking up at 5 a.m. like a psychopath businessman. But we will continue. Honestly, though, let me know what you think. This article today, got my notes here, is it was on Yahoo, but it's actually from a website called The Inquisitor, with no ER. There's no E in The Inquisitor. Link in the description box. And it has to do with Joni Ernst. And she is a Republican senator, apparently, from Iowa. And she delivered a response to President Barack Obama's State of the Union speech about cuts in government spending. Where the news has to do with what Ms. Ernst's family has received in subsidies for her farm. Now, Ms. Ernst is 44 years old, and she talks about a childhood where this is her talking, where they learned to live within their means, and how she only had one pair of shoes, and how the government needs to do likewise. However, the story broke that her family has received nearly, what's the number here? Nearly $460,000 in government subsidies over the course of an undefined term of time. Now, it goes on to talk about how her own father, Richard Culver, received $38,395 in taxpayer handouts, all of which went to corn subsidies. Now, for those of you who don't understand what corn subsidies are, it has to do with, instead of a farmer running corn in every single block of their property, they are given compensation for not growing in order to stabilize the corn market or to accomplish certain other things. And I don't know what you know about farming, but 39 grand in exchange for not putting out a crop, that's not much. That's not much when you consider everything. What I also find interesting is that the article talks about this gentleman named Dallas Culver, who, quote, soaking up almost 370,000 in federal agriculture subsidies. Okay, two things. One, again, Miss Ernst is 44 years old. So now that she's grown up, because we don't have a defined time that these instances took place, it obviously didn't happen when she was a child, or it couldn't have happened if she was a child. And also, too, I don't know how close any of you are with your uncle. One of my best friends isn't close at all with his. So if his Uncle 20 Gauge, made $300,000 in government subsidies, my boy Tex wouldn't see none of it. Okay, so what does your uncle have to do with anything? Nothing at all. So the article, in a way, was irresponsible in its reporting, or how it affects Miss Ernst. If anything, I would say that her criticism of taxpayer handouts in light of what her family has received perhaps shows her resolve. Now that she gets on board with the team and she's against increased taxes for the wealthy and a reduction in taxpayer cuts for the wealthy, I don't dig the whole team rah rah. You know, it smacks of protecting the wealthy while stomping the little guy, and that's not really cool. But also in the article, it talks about a lack of criticism in other areas of spending. So, okay. It does give a timeline, though. My mistake. This is between 1995 and 2009. So if Miss Ernst is 44 now, she would have been well out of the house and not part of that time. So Again, link in the box. Tell me what you think. Um, my thoughts, if anything, I don't think there's any need to discuss anything to do with politics about money or whatever until we get into campaign finance reform and lobby reform. Because while we can still continue to bribe senators and congressmen and judges in campaigns, what's the point of even talking about anything? These people are bought and paid for. Catch y'all tomorrow.